Hi. Thank you for attending today's reading. Let's begin. I was abused by a veteran. Hi, just to begin with, I wanted to say that I am a 12-year-old male, so I'm sorry about my grammar and spelling. It started off as a normal day. I was doing some parkour jumping and doing flips, just in my zone, having a blast, and where I was doing this was near a swinging bridge, but it was strong enough to bike on. Okay, sorry for getting off track, but I was just vibing, and then I hear some girls yelling and I look over and there were these two brothers, both 11, were chasing down these little girls trying to run over. Then I saw who the boys were. They were that two little brats around my block. Basically everyone in the neighborhood hated him. They also once got me arrested, but that is another story for another time. I ran after them, but they were on bikes, so I couldn't keep up, and after they left I was talking to the girls, and turns out that those boys have been harassing them all year. So I said when they came back around we could prank them by hiding in bushes and jumping out. Well, they were biking back. But until then I just started to jump on some rocks near the water, and there was rushing water. I will attach a pic of where I was later. Which probably was not a good idea, but I was good at it and I was safe, or so I thought. All of a sudden someone was yelling at me to get up. I thought that it was a worker, and I thought that they were going to release the dam. But then he starts saying that I was abusing his daughters, and before I could say anything I saw he had my phone. I tried to say no, that was these other kids, and sir, can I please get my phone back, and he said no. I'm taking this. Another thing about me is I have really bad anxiety and depression, and I worked really hard for that phone, so I got really upset. I tried to grab it from him and he pushed me back into the rushing water, but I hit my back off a rock and grabbed onto a tree. Now I was mad, but the thing was I have a problem with getting really mad and angry, so I jumped up beside him and I asked who he was. He said he was a veteran and he fought in Iraq. And don't get me wrong, I love our veterans and I love my country, but when people think that they can get away with everything just because they are a veteran, that pisses me off. It doesn't end there, because my dumb ass thought I could try and get my phone and go home from a 6 feet 4,200 pound veteran against me 5 feet 2,105 pounds. I was very wrong, so I tried to grab my phone and he punches my right in the nose and breaks my nose. There was blood pouring out of my nose and I was crying, so I got on my bike, headed home. My dad saw me and took me to the hospital, and I am making this 2 hours later and the police are still looking for him. So yeah, here I am ranting with a broken nose because I got punched by a veteran about something I didn't do, but what are you going to do? Again, sorry for the spelling and grammar. I am a 12-year-old boy. End of story. Next story. My quarantine breakup. Day 1. We've been in quarantine for 4 days now. We've had limited time outside of our small one-bedroom that is beginning to feel smaller as the days go by. Yesterday, he became prickly and impatient with me, but he is usually slightly moody. We've been together for 3 years, but we have always lived in separate cities, states even. I moved in with him temporarily and then boom. Quarantine. He hasn't looked at me in 20 minutes. He is just scrolling through his Twitter timeline. Look up. Look up. Look up. Please. My boyfriend isn't the kind of person to talk about how he feels. He sits on things and waits for me to pull it out of him over time. It's exhausting for me, but I can't find the words to tell him the truth. I sometimes just want to scream it at him or throw his phone into the wall so he will have to look at me. But he doesn't. We weren't always like this. I keep blaming it on the outbreak and being stuck inside for hours. But I know it's not that. We have all things that would make this go easier except the desire to do so. I am here, in this small-ass apartment, watching my relationship suffocate slowly. I just want to reach out and grab him. I think this is all I will write for today. I just wanted to get it out and I'll see if things get better tomorrow. Today I've asked him to teach me how to play his favorite video game, so maybe that will help. I'll update tomorrow. Until then, stay inside, I guess. End of story. Next story. Met a cat at our vet clinic who I thought was vibing. So I was just cleaning up and getting ready for our next surgery. After I was done, I went to see the other animals to know how many we had left to do. I'm not the surgeon, BTW. This one cat caught my eye. She was black and white and had this chill look in her eyes. Me and my sister were making jokes about this cat and how you could feel the chill vibes radiating off her. We were complete strangers to her and she let us pet her like if it was nothing. I was like, finally, a cat I can relate to. Quote. I later asked the main surgeon why this cat had such a different attitude. Turns out she was just preggo. End of story. Next story. Little brother's lie lead us to foster care. True sad story. 22 comments. Share. Save. Hide. Report. 94% upvoted. End of story. Next story. My adoption was stopped by the man who made my life hell. 9 comments. Share. Save. Hide. Report. 97% upvoted. End of story. Next story. All my nan and granddad's neighbors came outside and clapped to say a final goodbye to my granddad on his funeral day, and it was the sweetest thing. Nearly a year ago my granddad passed away from Huntington's disease. It is a condition where the nerve cells in the brain deteriorate and you lose muscle movement, and you get it if one of your parents has it. Depending on how many children you have, it's random. My granddad got very sick from a flu and powered through it the first time. The second time he had it, he passed away. He was an amazing, respectful man. Before this I have never went to a funeral and I was nervous and I was emotional. The plan was we all meet at my nan's house. My aunt gives us flowers. We wait for my granddad to come in the hearse and we all head off to say our goodbye. We were at the house and my aunt was putting flowers on us all and I was talking to my nan in her bedroom. We then went outside to leave. As we were all getting in our cars, all of their neighbors came outside to say goodbye to him and they clapped as we drove off to the church. I thought it was really sweet for them to take time out of their day to say goodbye to a dear friend. I thanked them all next time I was at my nan's house. End of story. That is all for today. If you want to support my automated channel, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.